What's up, everyone, and welcome to my Week 16 NFL picks. Let's go ahead and get started with the Atlanta Falcons and Detroit Lions on Saturday night. On Saturday night, we have the Atlanta Falcons taking on the Detroit Lions in Ford Field. Now, the Atlanta Falcons are 12-2, look to be a home field advantage team going into the playoffs. This game really doesn't affect that, win or lose. It just makes it another notch on their belt according to wins. The Detroit Lions are a dangerous team in some cases, but you got to wonder, will the Atlanta Falcons start to rest their players knowing that the playoffs are near? We can only find out Saturday if Mike Smith has that in order. But the Detroit Lions had a disappointing season. They're 4-10. Everybody thought they could be a deep in the playoff contender. That didn't turn out. The injury bug got a hold of them. Just the pressure or the just lack of, I don't know, I wouldn't say lack of talent because that team is talented. But with this game, I'm taking the Lions because when they're in Ford Field, they can be dangerous, and who knows what this Atlanta Falcons team is going to do if they rest players, if they don't play to their full potential, knowing that this is not going to, mess up their home field advantage, going into the playoffs. They're playing on the road. Both their losses come on the road. That's why I'm taking the Lions with this one. Not only is this next game for bragging rights, but it's also for playoff positioning. Currently, the Cincinnati Bengals are in the wild card position of the AFC. The Steelers are clawing their way back to that wild card spot, hoping to get a divisional spot, but that didn't happen this year with a lot of injuries to running backs, their quarterback, a lot of defensive injuries. But when the Steelers play at home, they like to be known. That is Heinz Field. That is where they are deadly at. The Bengals, they're coming off of a win, but they were playing against a less than stellar Eagles team. The Cincinnati Bengals, don't get me wrong, they got a lot of weapons on offense. Defense, yes, they have good secondary. They can make plays when they are needed. The Pittsburgh Steelers, yes, they're an ailing team, but they can come through at the end. Ben Roethlisberger needs to get back on rhythm after being out with an injury. Once he gets back in that rhythm, which I think he's been back for 2 weeks, he's already back in that rhythm. It was just a 3-point loss against the Cowboys last week, and they were playing in Dallas, so, the crowd was probably involved with that decision. Playing also, yeah, but I'm taking the Steelers with this one. The Steelers, they're going to make their name proven in this last couple weeks. They are going to be a force to reckon with. This AFC North is going to be a big battle coming in. You got the Ravens, you got the Bengals, and you got the Steelers. It's going to come down to Week 17 to determine who's going to make that final playoff spot. But I'm taking the Steelers with this one at Heinz Field. With playoffs for both of these teams coming in, the Minnesota Vikings have a wild card spot as of now. They have to finish out the season with both wins in order to lock down that spot when then everybody in the NFC East is trying to fight the Cowboys and the Giants. They're trying to fight for that last playoff spot, but if Minnesota can win, then they can do something. But the Houston Texans, they've already clinched their playoff spot. They've already clinched the division. They don't have nothing to worry about but home field advantage. Now, they're playing at home, so if they can win this game, home field advantage, not an issue. But the only thing that people are talking about with this game is it's Adrian Peterson who get enough yards in order to be able to break Eric Dickerson's single-season rushing record set in 1984. That's what everybody's worried about. Now, Adrian Peterson is a one-of-a-kind player. Had his knee injury last year, last game of the season. Nobody thought he was going to be back in the manner that he came back in, but on week 1, he was standing on the sideline with that number 28 jersey, ready for battle. And he's been a warrior all season. That's hard to take in that. With a knee injury like he had, to come back and rush like this, being the leading rusher in the NFL, he should be in line for MVP, comeback player, something. But everybody's just talking about breaking that season, that record. That's just going to be amazing if he does it. But with the winner of this game, I'm going to have to say the Houston Texans. Even though Adrian Peterson is going to spark this offense to, make it a close game, but the Houston Texans are just a strong defense. They're going to stop the passing game. The Minnesota Vikings, they're not going to be able to stop that high-powered offense of the Texans. It's going to be difficult, so I'm taking the Houston Texans to win at home. The New York Giants versus the Baltimore Ravens is going to be an instant classic. The New York Giants are looking to win this game and be in the playoffs once again and surprise a lot of people by trying to make the Super Bowl, being an 8-8 team and trying to win that division. Now the division is up for grabs, with the Dallas Cowboys and between them and the New York Giants, and it's just a big mess. And the Redskins are in the mix now. We all know what that offense is capable of. Eli Manning knows how to make game-winning drives. Last week, they had a really bad loss to Atlanta, but that was the better team that won. They performed better, but they were playing at home. Now, they're playing on the road again this week against Baltimore. Baltimore, we all seen how their offense has been ever since firing Cam Cameron and Jim Caldwell calling plays. He hasn't called plays before. Last game was his first game, and you see how that went. But you can't put solely all the, responsibility and put all the pressure on the offensive coordinator. He calls the plays, the head coach approves of them, and the players have to make them work. Now, if that doesn't happen, you can't sit there and say, okay, offensive coordinator, you didn't do your job right, you're fired. They went the wrong route. The season was still, it still had a couple weeks left before they let him go. The Baltimore Ravens are suffering on defense. They're not, stopping plays like they have been. They don't have that leadership on the field with Ray Lewis. He was held out of last week's game. The Giants, their defense is strong, but like I said, the better team won last week between the Atlanta Falcons and the New York Giants. But this week, I'm taking the New York Giants over the Baltimore Ravens. The Baltimore Ravens have already clinched a playoff spot. The New York Giants are trying to be that surprise team again by making the playoffs and, beating everybody in their path. So this is really going to be an interesting matchup. That's why I'm taking the Giants. With the emergence of Colin Kaepernick, the San Francisco 49ers quarterback, everybody was in shock and awe whenever he performed as well as he did on his first start. Now he's taken over the starter position. Alex Smith is on the sidelines. Who knows if he's going to be there next year? Last year, Jim Harbaugh said, all right, you're my quarterback. And now he's just, put him, back in the line and just said, you got to fight for your position. And Colin Kaepernick, as for right now, has that position. Going into the playoffs, who knows? Colin Kaepernick may suffer an injury. He may make mistakes on the last two games. Who knows? They're going up against the Seattle Seahawks. They're playing Seattle. It's going to be a really tough game for them defensively or offensively. The Seattle Seahawks' defense is going to be tough on them. They're going to, struggle to break up plays. They're going to struggle to, break up running plays. They got a strong running offense. They got Frank Gore, and then Colin Kaepernick, as you know, can run. With the Seattle defense playing at home, they're really tough, and that's why it's really going to be a tough game for the San Francisco 49ers. They came out of nowhere. Russell Wilson, he's playing excellent. He should, be maybe top. He's going to be in the top 3 for Rookie of the Year behind RG3 and Andrew Luck. He brought this team from nothing to something after acquiring Matt Flynn in the offseason. Everybody thought that was his job to lose, and in fact, he lost it. And he lost it to, I would say, the better quarterback. In this game, I'm going to take the Seattle Seahawks playing at home. The 12th man is going to be there, and it's going to be present. And, they're not. The San Francisco 49ers are not going to have the success that they always have when they play the NFC West teams. They've struggled this year. They've have a tie and a loss with the Rams. It's going to be a really good game. I'm looking forward to watching it on Sunday night. So I'm taking the Seattle Seahawks to win this one. Thank you guys for watching my video. I hope you guys enjoyed my picks. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have the passion to make these videos and let you guys know what I think of the coming weeks of NFL. Make sure you like this video. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. And make sure you share this video with all your friends and family. And tell me what you think by leaving your comments down below. Tell me who you think is going to win. If there's a game that I didn't talk about, let me know. And tell me what you think of my, my analysis or whatever. And I'll see you guys for Week 17.